Hi punters, and welcome to a super Saturday of racing. We've got, of course, the racing preview ahead of the weekend. A terrific weekend ahead of us. Of course, the Caulfield Guineas this Saturday at Caulfield. It's a terrific meeting, 4 Group 1s, including the 1,000 Guineas as well for the 3-year-old fillies. We've got the Caulfield Stakes over the 1,600 metres, and of course the Group 1 Toorak Handicap over the 1,600 metres as well. Got a couple other great races. The Group 2 Scalacci Stakes, of course, the winner you're in. The winner of that race will go straight into the Everest next week, which we're really looking forward to. Got the Group 2 Herbert Power over 2,400 metres. Going to be a fantastic race, that one. And a couple of Group 3 races for the mares of the Bass Strait Beef Stakes and the 3-year-old fillies for Group 3 race, the Thoroughbred Club Stakes. So looking forward to getting into that meeting. Of course, over at Ram, we've got a couple of nice little races in the card, including the Group 1 Spring Championships over the 2,000 metres. We've got the Myatt Spring Champion Stakes over the 2,000 metres. We've got the Bentley Anks Stakes over the 1,600 metres, Group 3 for the mares. We've got the Group 2 Roman Consul for the 3-year-olds and the Group 2 Stan Fox Stakes. So some terrific racing up at Randwick as well. So we're really looking forward to this weekend, and we're going to get stuck straight into it. Of course, Caulfield is the first track that we look at here, being the feature meeting of the day, and also Victoria's feature meeting. So look at race number 1, look at the English Debutante Stakes, and we've got all these horses going around on debut, which makes it quite hard always with all the form. You've always just got to base it off the trials and the jump outs when you're having a look at who you might win, or perhaps you look at the breeding and you if you see something that you quite like from there. But look, for me, first race on the card, just to quickly run through the track conditions, by the way. It's at the moment, the weather's fantastic outside, so the track's good for at the moment, and I can say with a bit of confidence it'll be sticking with the good 4 track. The rail's in the true position as well, which is really good. We can probably have the fair racing on the track more than likely, which is great. Looking at the first race of the card, of course, as I just mentioned earlier, it was the English Debutante Stakes over the 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. And looking at this first race, basically off the trials, what I've seen so far, I'm pretty keen to have number 3, the Big Easy, on top. There's a few little rumblings and murmurs around that it's got a bit of ability, this horse. And for me, I just think I've got a bit of ability. It's been well held in its jump house, but looks to have a little bit under the bonnet. It looks like it can really show a bit of turn of foot. So I'm going to go on that to be on top first in this first race. Ahead of number 6, Euphoric Summer for Mick Price and Mick Kent Jr. I think it's got a bit of a chance as well from what I've seen. Number 8, Pounce, had a couple of good jump outs and good trials up at Randwick and Rose Hill. The recent one was excellent. She won that really well. So looks to be a decent type of filly. She looks like she's got a little bit of ability, not a single doubt. In for third, I like number 1, Rock of Kryptonite. Again, looks to have a little bit of ability as well, and I'm happy to have it in for third. And then in for fourth for me, that was for fourth. So number 3, the Big Easy on top, and number 6, Euphoric Summer in for second. In for third, number 8, Pounce, and in for fourth, number 1, Rock of Kryptonite. Moving into race number 2, 400 metre listed race, the Weekland Hustler. Looking at the speed map here, I'd say that Rocks the Castle and Sunday Prey will probably be fine the top. Just a moderate sort of gallop, so Spun Largo might sit in behind them, and Renewal won't be too far off. Might even be able to get that box seat run. So looking forward to looking at this race. So I think it just sets up really nicely for number 2, Renewal. Look, I mean the second up stats aren't great for this horse. It's had 4 starts, second up for just the 1 win. But that first up performance is just too good to ignore for me. And I think if they're positive out of that gate, number 5, and Diane Dunn's able to sit in behind, get that box seat run, which it probably can do based off what I've seen on the speed map, it should be extremely hard to beat. This horse never misses a place at the track, so it does appeal a bit there. And I think it's just come back a really nice horse, and I'm happy to be at this time at the $3.50. So I got it on top to beat number 3, Rocks the Castle, who will battle on speed. And last time out was just overrun a little bit late. They went pretty hard in that race, but still ran a good race. And look, he's always thereabouts for Kerry Edwards. She's got a fantastic horse here, and it's only ever missed the top 2 finish once of its 5 starts this preparation. That was first up in Moonee Valley, where it didn't have a whole lot of luck there. It was on a really fastly run race, and they were able to swoop from the back. But I think it's got a great chance in for second. In for third, I'm happy to be with number 9, Mandela Effect. I think this horse looks going to need a lot of luck off barrier number 1. Really doesn't suit, but Look, so I can see this horse has a bit of ability, and I did run on really well last time out at Moonee Valley. I was pretty unlucky not to get closer in the end. It was only 0.7 length off Lagerfeld on that occasion. Second up stats are very good, so 4 starts, second up for a win in 2 seconds. So like its chances to be in the finish this time round, even though it'll need a little bit of luck off that inside barrier. And then in for fourth, well, this horse, look, hasn't shown its best for a little while, but this time last year, this horse was running into the placings in the Caulfield Guineas. So, of course, behind the Autumn Sun. So this horse, number 6, Vacillator, has to be a bit of a chance here. I thought it was okay last start. I think it's just building towards that win that maybe it could produce. And Colin Little's always had a good opinion of this horse, and we saw that in the Guineas run. It may not have been the strongest Guineas behind the Autumn Sun, but yeah, still was able to run second in that over the mile. And I think it's just got a great chance going from 1700 back to the 1400 metres. Might lack that little bit of turn of foot, but I'm happy with it to be in for fourth. At this stage, not got waging war in the race because I'm just keeping an eye if it goes into the 2-rack. I mean, obviously it's an emergency there, so if it gets in, then for me I'll be sort of looking elsewhere. But look, I could probably add it in the numbers. I mean, put it this way, with early quaddies and stuff, I'll be having it in. It's just that I just think that they might go for that 2-rack if they get the spot, which I think they could do. There's been a little bit of money for it at the 2-rack as well. So recap the numbers on race number 2 at Caulfield. We've got number 2, Renewal, on top for me. To beat number 3, Rocks the Castle. In for third, number 9, Mandela Effect. And in for fourth, number 6, Vacillator. Moving into race number 3, and it's the Thoroughbred Club Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies over 1,200 metres. Look at the speed map here. I would say, I'd say that Anahid and Backpedal will find the top. Knowles won't be far off. California Zimbol doesn't mind racing forward. I'd say they might use that speed of Anahid to follow up and sort of get into a good spot. Does leave a little bit of a tricky draw for Loving Gabby, but look, I'm going to take her in confidence here. I think Loving Gabby's one of the better bets of the day. I think she's going to be extremely hard to beat. What we saw first up over 1,200 metres at Moonee Valley was just terrific. She wound up from the back, went straight over the top of him. It was a terrific win, a great performance. Beat an informed mare in Exhilarates there, and I mean, she's been the sort of the benchmark at the moment. Filly. And the fact that she was able to beat her first up was really impressive for my mind. And this is a horse that we know it's got so much ability. She was excellent last preparation in the main group. 2-year-old races, which that sort of form stacks up really nicely here. I don't really see too many of your microphones, your Castle Vecchios, and this sort of race. So I think she'll be extremely hard to beat the Charles 40. And I'm happy to have her on top. And at number 6, California Zimbol, who is the real danger in this race. She's got a lot of ability. Was really good first up, beating Bentley Magic at Canterbury. Only benchmark 78, it's a big step up in class, but she's well up to this. And we've seen that last preparation. She ran some good 2-year-old race behind Diamond Thunder at Doomben. She of course beat Maddie Rocks first up in her maiden at Canterbury. So she's got ability, and she looks to have come back really well, and she's got a great chance. So I've got her in for second. In for third, number 8, Don't Tell the Boss. Again, we'll need a little bit of pace, just like Loving Gabby, but was really good last time at Moonee Valley. Gee, she savaged the line late. Probably a little bit unlucky, really. She got held up a bit in the straight, and she really powered home late. So I'll give her a bit of a chance to improve off of that run. That was a really good run, and I'm happy to have her in for third. In for fourth for me, look, on number 1, Anahid, I've got to put her in because she'll be up on pace. And look at the speed map, I'd say that she gets it pretty well on her own. So if that's the case, she could get away with it here and might be really hard to run down. So I'm going to have her in for fourth. Recap the numbers for me. I'm going to have number 2, Loving Gabby, on top. It's one of my best bets of the day to beat number 6, California Zimbol, in for second. In for third, I'm going to have number 8, Don't Tell the Boss. And in for fourth, number 1, Anahid. Moving to race number 4, it's the Bass Strait Beef Stakes, Group 3 for the mares over 1,200 metres. And look at the speed map here. I'd say that there'll be a little bit of speed in this race. Manicure would obviously settle back last time out, but I'd say it could roll forward. Improvement generally rolls forward. Gift of Power will roll forward from the outside barrier. So Merrill will get up there and be prominent. Diamond Effort will be up there. Tafane. But for me, I could see probably one of the outside barriers leading this field, with Merrill maybe kicking up of the inside barrier and finding a spot. So real interesting race. This is probably for me one of the tougher races of the day. There's a lot of real good chances in this. And for me, look, I wanted to really lean the way of number... I'm going to go the way of number number 5 Demerara here for James Cummings. I think it's got great each way odds at the $12. I thought she was okay first up. She was pretty well supported. She was beat by Zatori, who has since franked the form, so I think that's decent form lines to come behind. She looks to be getting to the line well late. I think it was just a bit of a stretch between runs and a bit of a step. That was in a Group 2 race. She's in the Group 2 here once again. Look, the field's probably just as good, if not maybe a little bit better, to be honest. But her second up stats are really good. She had 3 starts second up for 2 wins and a second. So I just think, and the way that she maps, she's got barrier 10, bit of speed on the outside of her, should be able to find a nice spot and be able to loop around them and finish them off. I think she's a great bet, so I'm going to have her on top. To beat number 7, Prophet Slum, who could have done much more first up. She was terrific as well. Second up at Caulfield, where she beat Platinum Angel. She really savaged the line there, and I know it was a mare's benchmark at 90 race, but she was terrific there, and I was really impressed with that performance. So I'm happy to have her in for second. In for third, number 3, Razin, the other James Cummings run. I think this horse has been forgotten about a little bit. It's got terrific second up stats as well. 3 starts, second up for 2 wins and a placing. Its first up stats aren't great, so you can probably almost forgive that first up run, but it was really good coming home behind Zatori as well. So similar form lines to Demerara. And I think it's got a great chance each way. And I think definitely worth an each way bet as well. $23 looks massive overs. And then in for fourth for me, I want to have number 11, Platinum Angel. I thought it was pretty good at first up. Not usually great first up, but she was really good. She was charged to the line late. And Lindsay Smith's on fire at the moment, as we know. And I think if it could produce similar performance here, it'll be charging home late. So for me, I've gone with a lot of backmarkers here, despite me thinking maybe there might not be a heap of speed in the race. And I've missed out on number 1, Manicure. I'm just not sure about Barrow 12. It was really good last time out, but I just thought there was a bit more value in the race. I wanted to add some of those value tips in. So for me, I'm going to land with number 5, Demerara on top. To beat number 7, Prophet's Thumb in for second. In for third, number 3, Razin. And in for fourth, number 11, Platinum Angel. Moving on to race number 5. It's the first of our Group 1s. It's a Group 2, my mistake. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. 2,400 metres. It's the Ladbrokes Herbert Power Stakes. And it's a terrific race leading into the Melbourne and Caulfield Cups. Look at the speed map here. I'd say that Hackey will find the top. Sally will be up there with it. Still, Prince won't be far off. I'd say Ventura Storm will try and get prominent. Caulfield might sort of use the barrier 3 to get forward. Won't want to get stuck too far back. And I'd say Prince Varan will be close enough to the speed. So interesting sort of speed map here because some of these obviously first up here in Australia, not sure whether they're going to roll forward or sit back. But for me, I'm pretty confident number 2, Raheen House here. I think this horse has got a stack of ability. It was really good in the Ebor. And it's just well up to this. And I think 2,400 metres isn't too much of a worry. I know it's going to be looking for a little bit further. And it is first up here. But it did only run in August. So it's not really coming off a long break. It's sort of just come off. Got straight on the plane. On the ship. Come here. Come off and looks to be in good order and ready to go. And I think Jamie Spencer's flown here for a reason. He's obviously just got the one ride now that Chief Ironside is out of the early race. Let me just double check that he's not. Oh, he's riding on Danceteer in race number 7, the Ladbroke Stakes. But for me, look, I just think this horse got a great chance for Willie Haggis. I think it's got a lot of ability, and I'm happy to have it on top to beat number 1, Prince of Aaron, who, as I mentioned, will be on speed, be charged on. We know what this horse can do. It was terrific this time last year. Of course, ran third in the Melbourne Cup. And was also won the race prior beforehand, which is a Group 3 race, 2,500 metres. This horse has been here before, is well proven. It's placed at the track before, of course. It was beaten by Yucatan this time last year. So I think it's got a great chance. Number 1, Prince of Aaron in for second. In for third, number 3, Still Prince is mapped to get a really good run, and this is where he's going to be tested. He's obviously not going to take on the big boys like he'll take on in Melbourne Cup, but for me, he's really got to prove himself here because there's a couple of very smart horses in this sort of race. But I've got him in third. He'll be fighting out the finish for sure. And then for fourth, I thought number 9, Caulfield, could run a cheeky race here. I thought she was okay in her last run behind Push's Shape. She now gets up to the distance range that she wants. Last time she got around to this distance range, she obviously won at Moorfield. Really in dominant style there. That was course of the Oaks. So she's got a great chance here, and I think she can run a cheeky race at the $15 odds in for fourth. So recap the numbers for me. Race number 5. Number 2, Raheen House on top for me. Looks massive overs, and I'm very happy to have it on top with a bit of confidence. In for second, number 1, Prince of Aaron. In for third, number 3, Still Prince. And in for fourth, number 9, Quafilla. Moving into race number 6, and it's the first of our Group 1s of the day, and I finally got there. Over 600 metres, the Schweppes Thousands Guineas. Look at the speed map here. Not a lot of speed. I'd say I'm Alican Acting will be 1 and 2. I'd say that South Bank will probably be not far behind, and Emeralds might be able to follow them across and be not far off them. And to be honest, with this, I know that these two like to bowl along in front, Acting and I'm Elegant, but the fact that they might get easy time of speed, they might be able to drop anchor. And for me, I really like the chance of number 10 Emeralds here. I think it's got a great chance each way. I just like where it's going to be landed on the map. I think it's going to be in a very nice spot in behind. Be able to sort of swoop out and move into it. We know that Johnny Sargent is able to get his horses up to do perform in these big races, and I just think that she's got a great chance here against some of the horses that we may have been exposed to, but she's got good form, Emerald. She's coming behind Funstar and Yao Dash. If Funstar's in this race, probably would be favourite. So I'm happy to have her on top, just on the basis that I think she's massive overs, and so I'm going to have her ahead of the favourite Flit, who ran one of the best nights you'll ever see last time out. Was really good on that occasion. Probably should have gone. Look, a lot say that it probably should have won. I'd say that definitely should have been closer. I mean, she just got held up at that key vital stage and should have been getting into her work and powering to the line, but just couldn't quite get out. She got held for a run and was just sort of held to the line, and she's definitely got a win in her. I just think 2:30 is a bit short. I wouldn't be willing to dive into that personally, so I'm going to have her in for second. In the third, number 8, South Bank, who I thought again was also overs. It did beat the favourite last time out, albeit narrowly, but I thought that was a really good race and a really good run in the Guineas Prelude, and if it can improve off of that once again, which South Bank looks to be a bit of a progressive horse, I think she'll be right in the finish once again. She hasn't missed a top 3 finish this preparation, so she definitely knows how to be up there, and she'll put herself on speed and just let her do her own work. And then in for fourth for me, number 7, Missile Mantra. I've been with her a couple of times, and she's let me down a few times, so I've jumped off this time, and you know what that means. She probably will get up this time, but she's had 3/5 in a row where she just has done what she does it every time. She savages the line. I'm confident she's got a win in her. Just there's not a lot of pace again in this race. She's going to have to get back, be on that outside barrier and wind up once again. But I think she'll be closing in on them late. So recap the numbers for me. Race number 6. I am quite keen on number 10 Emeralds here. I think she's just got a good each way chance ahead of number 3 Flit. In for second. In for third, number 8 South Bank. And in for fourth, number 7 Missile Mantra. Moving to race number 7, it's the Great Weight for Age Group 1 2,000 metre Ladbroke Stakes over the 2,000 metres. Looking at the speed map here, it's like Gallo Shop and Homesman will get out of the inside barriers, find the top. Harlem won't be far off. I'd say Blackheart, Bart and Gadding will try and get across the inside barrier, which leaves it interesting for Dream Castle to usually it gets forward and it runs it. And it might want to follow those across and find a position. But interesting speed map early, and for me, look, I'm really keen to be with Dream Castle here. I'm going with the theory that I used last time out in the Caulfield Cup with Best Solution. It's just Pat Rosgrove, one ride for the day. Sayed Bin Soror, one runner for the day, sorry. And for me, I just think this horse has got a lot of ability and can produce first up here. And I just, the way that it maps, if it can sit settle just in behind them, it'll be on speed, be able to just roll out past them and perhaps finish just over the top of them. I think this horse got a great chance at 3 starts first up for 2 wins. So loves running fresh. I just think it's race, and I think it's got great each way value at the $12. So I'm happy to have it on top ahead of number 10 Dancetira, who I also thought was a bit of odds. Looks to be a good horse coming here for Denim. I've butchered that one. Danny Manusi, with Jamie Spencer on board, one of the best jockeys in the world, of course. Arguably. It's got good each way value as well. As I mentioned, it'll probably be sitting in behind them and winding up late with Avilius, and I think it'll be in the finish. Number 5, Avilius, can't leave him out. Just thought he was similar to Flit. I just thought he was unders as well. I thought he was just like $2 short at 30, just a little bit short for me. So I'm happy to have him in for third. And then for fourth, number 7, Homesman, who will be along up on speed and give him a great sider to chase down. But race number 7 for me, I'm happy to be at number 9, Dream Castle on top. Each way value, I think it's got great Really good each way value and really appeals. Just got to use that outside barrier. Paddy Gosgrove's just got to give a great ride, but I'm very confident he can do something similar to what he did on Best Solution at the Caulfield Cup last year and produce on this horse here. So I've got it on top to beat number 10, Danceterian for second. In for third, number 5, Avilius, and in for fourth, number 7, Homesman. Moving on into race number 8, and it's of course, the Caulfield Guineas, the feature meeting of the day over 600 metres, Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. Look at the speed map here. I'd say that Rocker Baressa will use the inside barrier to get forward. Conqueror will be up there as well. I'd say Skiddaw won't be far off. Your Deal might want to get forward. Ground Soil and Alligator Blood like to get forward in their runs as well. So a little bit of speed in the race. Interesting what they do with Dallas, saying if they try to go forward off that outside barrier, if they just drop right to the back of the field and look to wind him up. It's a real intrigue, and it makes it very hard to sort of get a guide on where he's going to be in the run. Look, for me, I'm quite keen in this race to be at number 4, Kubrick. I think it's got a great chance for Chris Waller. It's had a little bit of support as well, I've just noticed. So I was very keen at the $8. It's now $6.50. It's got that form behind Bivouac, and for me, I know that in the Golden Rose it perhaps wasn't fantastic. It sort of faded a little bit late. But first up, it was really good over 1,200 metres. Third up here, up to the 600 metres. This horse finished behind Prince of Fawaz at Eagle Farm over the 600 metres, so we know it'll get to the distance well, and it is probably crying out for that distance range, really. It's just like that turn of foot to keep up with Bivouac in its last 2 starts. And I mean, Bivouac would be odds on in this race, more than likely. So the fact that Cubic comes out of that sort of form line, for me, I just want to have an each way play at it. And look, I'm a little bit worried about Barrier 16, and it's going to have a little bit of luck from out there. But if James McDonald, he's one of the best jockeys going around. He could do his work, and I'm hopeful that he can get us into a winning position and finish it off. So I've got it on top to beat number 5, Super Seth, who I'm not jumping off just yet. I'm willing to have an each way play on it as well. I thought it was terrific last time. It got so far back it wasn't funny when the leaders pinched it at Caulfield last start in the Guineas Prelude. And look, he really did charge the line well late. He was a real eye catcher, and I think he's just crying out for that 600 metres. Anthony Freedman's been holding him off for this sort of this race and this distance range, so he's going to get it for the first time. I think he'll appreciate the extra distance as well. Number 2, Dallasan for second, was really keen on him up until he drew that outside barrier, because now it makes it quite tough on what he's going to do. But I think he'll be well in the finish again. Hugh Bowman jumps into the saddle this time around. The blinkers come on for the first time, which is really interesting. We never know what this horse could do now. The blinkers, he could really turn into the winner by a mile. So real intrigue on Dallasan. If you're keen to have a play on him, look, I wouldn't say no. For me, just that outside barrier concerns me a little bit. And then number 18, Groundswell, beyond the speed, and I thought it was really good last time out behind Alligator Blood, and I think it could perhaps turn the tables here, going up to the 600 metres. I just think that for me, while Alligator Blood has won obviously 5 in a row, it's going to have to do a little bit of work from what I can see from the outside barrier, and I just worry about it going to 600 metres. I think it's more of a 1,200 metre, 1,400 metre horse, because it's got that real turn of foot on the speed, but I'm just not sure if we can grind it out. So for me, I'm willing to steer clear of it. But look, there's a lot of other good chances in this race. I think Subadar's got a good chance as well. Also, I guess Soul Patch, Express Pass has got a chance. So there's a lot of good chances in this race, and I will go through that with my quaddie later on. I'm introducing that now into the spring. But recap the numbers for the Caulfield Guineas race. For me, I'm pretty happy to have number 4, Kubrick on top at the $6.50 to beat number 5, Super Seth, who, as I mentioned, I'll probably have an each way play out as well. Number 2, Dallasan in for third, and then in for fourth for me, I'm going to have number 18, Groundswell. Moving to race number 9, it's the Turak Handicap over the 600 metres Group 1 race here. Looking at the speed map of this race, I'd say that Cliff's Edge, Age of Chivalry, Miss Siska will find the top. Streets of Avalon will be up there. Tommy Melbourne will probably come out for the outside barrier and roll across, barrier 18, and number 7, and at a barrier 17, Dyslexic usually likes to get forward in its runs as well. So could be a little bit of speed in this race. Sikandarabad might also be prominent, be close to the speed. So interesting to see what it will do. Look, again, like one of the earlier races, I think it was race number 4. This is the other real tough race of the day. I'm happy to be number 5, Night's Watch. I think it's just building towards something. Chris Waller's flying at the moment, as we know. And I just think that his last start was pretty good behind Gadding. He was really hitting the line well, and I think he comes back to Caulfield, a track that he really likes. And I just think that he will relish sticking at the 600 metres. He gets that nice barrier where he'll be able to just sort of peel to the outside, wind up, I think, make his run. And I think it'll be really hard to beat the $7. So I'm happy to have him on top. Ahead of number 14, Princess Jenny, who I think she's got a great chance as well. She was terrific at Moonee Valley, was really happy with that performance. Couldn't believe the odds she went round at. I was really appreciative to get those sort of $4 odds. And look, she'll be right in the finish once again. She's up against arguably probably her toughest test yet, but I think she'll be right up to it. She'll be well in the finish. Number 19, Chief Ironside. Got a bit of interest in this horse, so I think he can run a good race in for third. I think it's good each way value. Then in for fourth, number 4, Widgie Turf. He's always in the finish as well, big Widgie. He'll be flying home late, and he loves Caulfield, loves the mile. So, look, I've left out number 1, Madison County. I think he can run a good race and sort of improve off its first up performance. Another horse I think's got a decent chance is Amphitrite. Don't think we've seen the best of that horse yet. Fierce Impact's got a good chance. Mahamadeus has a chance. So really, there is a lot of good chances in this race. But look, for me, I'm going to go with number 5, Night's Watch. I just think if he's up to his best, third up here, this is his chance to win. I think he can do it. So I'm going to have him on top to beat number 14, Princess Jenny, in for second. In for third, number 19, Chief Ironside. And in for fourth, I like the chances of number 4, Widgie Turf. Race number 10, it's the Scalacci Stakes. The winner, you're in the Everest over 1100 metres, weight for age, Group 2 race. Looking at the speed map here, I'd say Dispatch and Ashlaw will go out at front. Ball and Muscle wasn't up on speed last time out, but I'd suggested he might this time, and Rebel King will be up there as well. Look, this race for me just really sets up nice for trekking. I think he'll be extremely hard to beat here at the 1100 metres. He's been set for this race. He'll get into the Everest. Look, I don't know if he'll be winning that race. I really can't see him coming up against the big boys, but he's got a good chance. But I do think he wins this race. Number 1, Ball of Muscle in the second. Will give a good sider on pace, and he really loves running at Caulfield. He's never missed a place here at the track. So I forgive that last start at Moonee Valley. I think he'll improve off that, come back to the run that we saw first up last preparation. Number 8, Bonds Away. She'll do what she does, just charge home the line late. She was really good last time out. She's getting close to a win. She just can't quite. She's just not a winner. That's the problem. She likes to hit the line, but she just isn't quite a winner at the moment. So I think she'll run home in for third. And in for fourth, number 3, the Bostonian, who I've got to give a great chance to. Just never really probably got on the track at Moonee Valley. It's a tough track to navigate if you see it for the first time. And he now comes to Caulfield, which I think he'll appreciate much more. From his 3 wins, 1 second off 5 second up runs. So I think he'll be much improved and step out 1100 metres. We'll see a better effort from him. So I'm pretty confident on my top 4. I like number 2, Trekkie, on top to beat number 1, Ball of Muscle at the good each way odds. Think he's well worth a play if you think you're having a go there. In for third, number 8, Bonds Away. And in for fourth, number 3, the Bostonian. So recapping the best bets for me of the card. Look, I'm quite keen to be with number 2, Loving Gabby, in race number 3 at the $2.40. So it's race number 3, number 2, Loving Gabby at $2.40. The other one I'm quite keen on as a best bet is probably... probably the last race, to be honest. I think number 2, Trekking, is going to be really hard to beat in the last of the $2.60. So race number 10, number 2, Trekking. My best each way plays for the day. Look, I think that race number 7, number 9, Dream Castle is definitely worth an each way play at the $12 and $3 a place. It's going to be right in the finish. The other horse I think that's worth an each way play is in race number... race number 5, number 2, Raheen House. Thought he was well over the odds, and he'll be in the finish as well. So, looking at the quaddie, looking at early quaddie numbers, so my quaddie numbers, I was just trying to get a little bit of a better percentage. But for the early quaddie, for me, I'm happy to have leg number 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8. Leg number 2, which is race number 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Leg 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. And leg 4, 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 10. $50 will get you 5.55% of the quaddie, but I'm pretty confident we can get that. And $100 would be 11% of the quaddie. Moving on into the actual quaddie, which starts obviously from race number 7, which is of course the Guineas to start off with. The Ladbroke Stakes. The numbers for the quaddie in that one will be Sorry, and again with the late quaddie, I'm happy to have leg number 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, and 10. Leg number 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 16, 18. Leg number 3, 1, 4, 5, 12, 13, 14, and 19. And in leg number 4, 1, 2, 3, and 8. $50 will get you 5.10%, and obviously $100 will get you 10.2%. So look, the quaddie pool is going to be quite big, and I can see a few roughies getting up here. So I think that while it's not a massive percentage, the quaddies will pay out quite well. So if we can get another quaddie, I'd say we'd still get a decent payout, even off those perhaps maybe small percentages. But they're my best bets of the day. That's my whole Caulfield Guineas prelude. I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, look ahead to my Randwick video to be coming up next. And good luck if you're having a play tomorrow. And if you're going, even more so, I'll be at the track. So really looking forward to a great day tomorrow. It's going to be a terrific day of racing. Guineas Day is always one of the best days of racing on the racing calendar, so we're really looking forward to it. So good luck if you're following tomorrow, and cheers for the support once again. If you haven't already done so, go check out my social media pages of C-Lane Racing Tips on Facebook and C-Lane_Racing Tips on Instagram for all of my tips, including Saturday's meetings, but also Friday. And I'm going to be doing a Cranbourne Cup Sunday preview as well, which looks to be a really good meeting there. So I'm looking forward to doing a racing preview there, and I'll be posting my tips for that meeting on there as well. So good luck if you're playing tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and happy punting.